Welcome to our cash envelope budgeting video.
Hello.
Welcome.
Welcome.
And welcome to you.
Welcome to... I'm tired. It's been a long day.
Okay. The cash envelope system is an extremely simple and effective way for staying on budget. So it's worth speaking of. Whether you are budgeting in order to get out of debt, or you're saving for something in particular, or you're just trying to live within your means month by month. The cash envelope system basically is what it sounds like. You figure out how much money you have to spend each month, and then you figure out how you're going to divide it into your various categories, and then you put it in the envelopes. Now, some people don't use envelopes. Some people use little coupon filing systems. I like to use actual envelopes. Our two main categories, food and gas, but I wrote petrol in order to be culturally sensitive to
Twish?
those of the British persuasion. You can have as many envelopes, as many categories as you want. It's whatever you need. Here's another one, clothes. Here is one, recreation. So, some people will put the money in their envelopes on a monthly basis. I prefer myself to do it on a weekly basis because I think to have a month's worth of food money at one time, I think that makes it harder because it's like you have to budget within your own envelope system to make sure you're doling it out week by week. So to me, it's just easier to do it weekly, but some people prefer monthly.
Yeah, on the 23rd of the month, you don't want to look in there and see that it's empty.
Nothing left, right. So you have your money. You divide it up. You stick it in your envelope. And put your envelope someplace safe. Someplace where you will have to deliberately go to get your money. You won't just be grabbing cash willy-nilly whenever you feel like it, right?
Yeah, so you won't steal it, your kids won't steal it, and your neighbors won't steal it.
Right. It's a very flexible system. I mean, you can really do it however you want to do it. I like to do it with small denomination bills because I find that works better. If I have large denomination bills, then I'm just going to grab two 20s and go to the grocery store and I will spend $40.
Right.
But if I'm only going to get bananas and almond milk, I really only need to grab, $5. And I can do that with 5 singles, and I'm not going to overspend because I have the money with me.
Right. If you think of something else while you're there, you don't have the extra money, make another trip another day. But you're not just going to overspend and find you have 10 things that you really didn't need that week.
Right. The whole point of the cash envelope system is you have determined how much you can afford to spend in your various categories, and then once you are out of cash, you're done spending. You are done. There is no pulling out the credit card. There's no pulling out the debit card. When you're done, you're done. And you have to learn what are your most important needs to be met.
The reason is, more than anything else, is the habit of spending within your means. It really teaches you quickly. The first few times when you look and it's like there's either no money there or you're waiting in line and you're like, oh, I want to get that something in line at checkout, and you can't. It just hardwires your brain to be conservative and to think about every purchase.
Let's say you're coming to the end of the week and you look in your food envelope because you need to go buy some bread and it's empty. And then you realize, I bought soda earlier in the week. I shouldn't have gotten soda because soda is not good for you. And now I can't buy bread, which is a much more basic staple food item.
Mm-hmm.
Now the thing
Can I
also...
interrupt?
Oh,
I'm sorry.
go ahead.
Some people say, well, take it out of recreation. I mean, some people actually say that.
They will steal it from another envelope.
You're going to keep doing that. You are learning, you're teaching yourself a habit. So
discipline. And the thing about using cash is there is something psychological that connects us to our cash. And it is so easy to swipe a credit card or a debit card. And I think they've even done studies. I mean, the credit card companies know that you spend something like 22% more if you're using a credit card. They have it down to a science. It's hard to part with money, especially if you're counting out small bills, because that feels like a lot of money, right? And you don't want to spend it. Now, the cash envelope system is really good for budgeting what you're going to spend, but it's also good for saving up for things. All right, so let's say you can put $10 a week in your recreation envelope, but where's that going to get you? That's not going to get the family to the movies. So you might have to save up several weeks in a row until you have enough money in the envelope to actually go do anything. So besides using the envelopes to spend on a weekly basis, you can also use them to save up on a weekly basis. And also something like, where's our clothing envelope? For clothing, same thing. You might be able to budget. What are you laughing at?
I thought you said clubbing, and I'm like, oh my God, she has a clubbing. Like we're gonna go clubbing.
The clubbing envelope. So for clothing, we don't really buy clothing on a weekly basis, and our budget for clothing is pretty low because we pretty much only buy clothing at thrift stores. I don't think we've gone into a regular retail store for clothing. Well, I did buy socks the other day at Target. I did do that. That felt very, like, out there.
The girls went into their first Target, and they're almost 6 years old. They went in
Well, there you go.
last week.
Yeah. Anyway, as I was saying, with clothing, maybe you have a budget of $10 a week for clothing, which isn't necessarily going to get you very far, but just keep putting the $10 in every week until you have what you need. You plan ahead. You know you're going to have back to school shopping, whatever. You're going to have to get the kids new sneakers. It allows you to save up. It's kind of like a little mini sinking fund in an envelope. So you can have as many or as few categories as you want. It's just whatever your family's needs are. We don't really have envelopes to just give us, like, here's your cash for the week, honey, and I've got my spending money for the week. We just don't even do that.
Right.
We've used the cash envelope system in the past, both together and as individuals, and we haven't so much lately, but we actually are getting back to this because we have had some really big unexpected medical bills lately that have really drained some of our savings, and I want to get us back on track and make sure we're staying within our limits.
And for petrol, it's usually around here it's 10 cents a gallon. Difference for cash or credit.
Yeah. Oh yeah, you definitely want to use cash for your petrol. So basically that's it. I mean, if you have school-age kids, you might need to have an envelope to save up for class trips, or maybe you have an envelope where you're putting a few dollars away each week for birthday parties, because you have to. What are you doing?
I'm giving you new
Giving
new
me
ones
new
to
envelopes?
fill out. Yeah,
Oh, thank
they're
you.
empty, so you can.
Thank you. Yeah. So we could have a birthday party envelope because the kids go to birthday parties all the time now. I know some people, as they're trying to get out of debt and they're getting into budgeting, really don't know where their money is going. They just don't, like, what did I buy? Like,
Yeah.
you know, I mean, we've all had that experience where we go to the grocery store and you've just bought $200 worth of groceries, and then you get home and you're like, I don't even know what we're going to eat for dinner. Like, we don't have anything. I don't know how that can be, but that happens, right? So some people will take these envelopes and they'll write down all of their purchases and they'll subtract the amounts from the total and they'll keep track of it. I don't do that because that is not simple. That's a huge pain in the neck, and I really have no interest in doing that. But what I think is an easier thing to do that I've done in the past is when you take money out, you go to the store, when you come back, put the receipt in the envelope. So if you run out of grocery money by the end of the week, you can look at the receipts in there and say, okay, what did I spend on that I really didn't need? What did I get that wasn't essential to our survival, you know? And remember, you have money in the envelope. It doesn't mean you have to spend it all every week.
Right.
You can let it carry over. You can save it.
It's a great feeling when you go in there and there's more money. When you're putting the next month's money in,
Yeah.
it's really exciting.
This is a very, very simple and very effective way to make sure you stay within your budget. I hope this was helpful. I hope it gives some suggestions to people who are new to budgeting, and need to start their cash envelope system. It can be extremely simple. It does not need to be a complicated system. It's simple. It's money in an envelope. When you run out, you're done spending. Maniacal laughter in the background.
I know, I like it.
So thanks for watching, everybody. Have a great weekend, or night, or evening, or life. Bye.
Hey, who's this? The maniacal laughter? Look at her.